Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first edition of the West Ham Fan TV podcast. Boys, we've already got a sickness. Can you believe this? A sickness already.
It's sick times, man.
Sick
COVID
times.
and all that ain't got away yet.
No, it's not COVID.
Well,
he's assured me it's not COVID.
You know, is any tests? Any electoral flows?
No.
Failed electoral flow test?
No, he did. No, he did do a lateral flow. I'm with Dom, by the way. He's going to be our one of our co-hosts. And listen, we've got a lovely setting here for the podcast, and it's provided here by producer Andy, who stepped in for Ryan already. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Not bad. Like you said, substitutes hopefully have a better impact than what West Ham subs have had recently.
Andy's got his own channel. What's your channel's name?
West Ham Reunited. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
Is it any good?
It's all right, I suppose.
I've never watched it.
It's all right, I suppose.
I think you need to reunite with Andy on his channel.
No, look, I've always said that I'll do something on Andy's channel. We was going to be doing something on there before, but the previous host that was on there, I won't mention his name, but he kept on me about. So I just said, I've got time for this. You know what I mean? It took me 2 hours to set these microphones up today. I ain't got time to be. If he give me a list of dates, and then when he was going to me like pick between, I think it was in December, wasn't it? Yeah, so first, second, third, fourth. So I said, I'll have the 8th. He went, no, it's gone now. I went,
Sorry.
Right, I'll have the 9th. It's gone.
Sorry.
The 10th then, no, it's gone. I said, well, you tell me. Do you know what I mean?
I think Dom had one of them days.
That's because he had me. He wants me more than you.
Yeah. Did you do it?
I don't even remember the dates.
It's shirts one.
I've been on yours. No, I didn't do that, no.
You did, you did
No, I think I did. Yes, I did. But I couldn't tell you what day it was. It definitely weren't December. Definitely wasn't December. I'll tell you what I was doing on them days as well.
No, I didn't say yours was in December. I said mine was in December.
8th of what? Monday?
I don't know. I can't remember now.
It weren't me in December, that's for sure. It was a script.
Do you know what? I think this is the third iteration
of the podcast. Yeah, it is.
I'm just too lazy. So what I done is I went out and spent £1,000 on all of this beautiful equipment here to make sure that, you know, because I've told everyone now how much I've spent on it. I spent that much money because, one, I want the production quality to be better. 2, I just want it to be enough, so I have to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I have to justify it. You know what I mean? So, but we will be here every week. Look, all the full audio will be on Patreon every week. And we'll have like a simmered down down version on YouTube, but you can always find the full audio on Patreon. Look, how you feeling? It's been 24 hours since we, to be quite honest.
I'm still lost for words, mate, to be perfectly honest. Like you said, we're going into a window. This is the worst window we've had under the board as well. Even when we were fighting relegation, we got a gem up in January. Bowen springs to mind, and then we haven't strengthened, and it's just what it does for the confidence for the other team. I know David Moyes likes a small squad, but there's just no competition for places. Even Antonio's been calling for it.
You agree?
Completely. I'm over it though, man. I've got to be honest with you, I'm over it. I'm glad to see the back of the January transfer window because I absolutely hate them. I used to love them as a kid, right? Because I used to love them. Do you know why? Do you know why I used to love January transfer windows as a kid? Yeah, because when I was younger, I used to play FIFA more than I do now. Right?
How much more?
A lot more.
Yeah.
I don't play it this year. I hate FIFA now. I hate FIFA and I hate January. Do I have to tell you? Come on, you know why I hate FIFA.
Well, don't tell. You're not telling me. We're telling the audience. That's what
you know, but you know why I hate FIFA.
But you got to tell everyone else. It's not point. There's no point in me.
Anyone who plays FIFA Ultimate Team will know exactly where I'm coming from. But anyway, this was an Ultimate Team, right? This was when you would customise your own squads, yeah? I'd do it. Every single transfer in the world that I knew of, I'd do it. And I found it so fun. I was like, this is like
Wait. Start again. I have got no idea what you're talking about.
So I used to like the January transfer window when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because when West Ham signed a player...
You'd buy him in FIFA?
No, not buy him. Because you know when you customise your team, you just stick him on different teams.
Yeah.
I used to love doing that. I was like, I see... Because when I didn't know who the player was, I was like, oh, he's 82 rated. We got a good player here. He used to proper
tell
excite
me you didn't, because I used to do that sort of thing when I used to play Pro Evo.
Yeah.
But I'd get a new signing, and it could be, let's go back, when was I playing Pro Evo? Who did we sign? Matthew Upson or someone like that, right?
Yeah.
Or Lucas Neal. It ended up like a 97 rated, because I'd be like, what's his heading? Probably about 95. And I put it back at, what's his passing? I reckon he's about a 90 passing, you know what I mean? And he'll end up like a 97 rated player. And he's obviously not, you know what I mean? He's playing for West Ham at the end of the day. But, yeah, go on, what was your point?
Yeah, and that's why I liked it. I used to get very excited about the window, like. But now, like, as I've got older, and we've failed a lot, especially in January. I thought we failed in the summer, which is why we found ourselves in January desperate for players. I'm just like, we don't deliver. We just don't deliver, do we?
No, we do lamb, chicken, and fish.
No,
do you get that?
No beef.
No beef.
No beef, no steak.
No beans.
But no, man, like, I was confident we would sign players. This is the thing, right? Last night I was coming towards, like, this time last night, you know, it's obvious we weren't going to sign anyone. No chance for a last-ditch deal. But I always had faith we would. About 2 weeks ago, you know, like, a lot of people on social media now, every day tweeting, sign a fucking player, sign a player. Where's our signings? Announce him, announce them, yeah? This is what I used to do when I was, like, their age, about five odd years ago, yeah? But I've just sort of, like, realised it won't happen straight away, because we either sign players last minute for PR stunts, or we don't do it at all. And in this case, it's not at all. But it was so bleeding obvious what we needed, and I thought, come on, you know, like, we ain't stupid enough to neglect this, and we have. And this is why I'm shocked. I'm furious, but I ain't surprised. And because I'm not surprised, I'm not overly furious. Move on. I'm looking forward to Saturday now, Kidderminster away. This happens every single window. Like, the dust settles.
But why the fuck are they waiting to the very last?
I don't believe it.
I never thought, on my God's honest truth, I never thought that these clubs actually waited to the last day. I thought that was like it was like all of a bit of a circus, you know what I mean? Like a little bit of a you know, to keep people on the edge of their seats. I didn't think they actually waited to the last day to start submitting. Surely you should be submitting that paperwork a few days before.
Should be doing it before the window opens.
Yeah.
I agree.
If you can.
Like you said, the rumours that Lingard, at first at Man United, for example, Lingard weren't going to sell to us until after the Man United game, which you can sort of understand. But the fact that we didn't even negotiate apparently until the last day is just scandalous anyway.
It's all a ploy. You know, it's very, I think it's extremely disrespectful on supporters, because they do this every single year. The PR moves, the phantom bids for the Leeds players. There was no way we were getting those two players for a combined 100 million. Firstly, because Phillips is English, so you got the English tax. He was one of our best players at the Euros, got us to a final. Great partnership with Rice. I mean, a lot of clubs would see that partnership midfield better than West Ham and think, you know, I want that partnership.
Well, I reckon, in a stupid sort of way, I think they've just devalued Declan Rice if they wanted to sell him, because they, like, you know, if a club comes in for him and they look at what we've offered them and go, well, you only offered them 50 million, so what do you value him at? You know what I mean? Because they'll be valuing him at about 70, 75, I would imagine, and Rafinha maybe a little bit even more. But it's not. Look, is any player worth in the world 50 million quid? No, they're not. At the end of the day, it's a person. 50 million pounds. Imagine what 50 million pounds sets people for.
How much are you worth?
What, as a footballer?
As a person? Do you know what I think? Priceless, Nicky.
Why is he talking like that?
Too many Deseranos already, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think it is, yeah. The thing that annoys me the most about everything is the way that all of a sudden you see these people, the same people that have been denouncing us for years about what you're moaning about,
Yeah.
This is what they've spent and that's what they spent. And all of a sudden it's like they're talking about them like they've started to discover the wheel. Like you hear Simon Jordan yesterday, all of a sudden he starts to tell stories about, you know, these phantom bids for Andy Johnson. but he was the one denouncing us.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's known for 15 years what they're like. So what was he
clickbaiting? Typical talk spot.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. All of a sudden, you know what it is? They don't need them anymore. They're moving on. They're going to be moving on in the next year or two. Jim Smith tried to keep him sweet. Jim Smith. Jim Smith.
What you always call him
Jim Smith? I know. Yeah, I know. Jim White, if you're watching this, please change your name to Jim Smith because it'll make it a lot easier for me. But Jim White always like wound up the fan base and always stuck up for him. Then all of a sudden, he knows they're going to be moving on, and all of a sudden he's thinking, yeah, maybe they are taking them for a ride and all that. And that proper pisses me off. And maybe I'm getting more annoyed than I should do, really, because that is what media is, isn't it? It's creating controversy, especially talk sport. I mean, you talk about clickbait. That's the most clickbait thing.
It's all propaganda fueled. All
the time.
Bullshit.
Like Jamie O'Hara and all that sort of thing. They're selling their self. They're selling their. I think they're selling their dignity. To be quite honest with
absolutely.
You, because you're selling the point with Jamie O'Hara. I think he says these things to create controversy, and then he gets proper wound up when people are slagging him off.
You seem to mention, like you said, the Europa League tickets. When the season ticket's up for renewal, I remember when we signed Felipe Anderson, we signed him early. Like, make sure you get your season ticket now to see him or renew now. Obviously, they've done that with the tickets for Europa League because it's going to look not less advertising now. We've not signed them.
That's with every video.
I started to get worried when them Europa League tickets come out. They come out a week ago now, probably.
Friday, weren't it?
Friday, yeah. And I started to get worried. And the reason I started to get worried because I know the games that they play. And I thought to myself, I thought to myself that I didn't say anything, but I thought to myself then, if they were going to sign anyone of note, they would wait for this Europa League game because it's early, isn't it? 7 weeks. 7 weeks before they never ever release tickets before then, and they're the most expensive tickets that we've ever had in the cup game ever. Did you know that?
Yes, but I did watch your Friday night pint, and I do have a bit of counter to that.
All right, okay. Well, lower your mic a little bit because you're just a little bit distant, but you're going to counter me. But from what I know, the research that I've done, which is probably nonsense, but they're the most expensive cup tickets that we've ever sold. They're asking you to pay the money before you're playing. Before you even know the date, yeah?
We do know the date.
Is it definitely the 17th?
Yes, because we're seeded because we won the group.
Okay,
so we're going to be away.
Yeah, away first.
That's
okay.
confirmed.
Okay,
we're seeded.
But so if they know the date, that's 7 weeks before. They've never put a ticket out 7 weeks before the fact. And I started to get a bit worried then because I thought to myself, if they had a plan to bring in a big signing or someone, they would have waited till the day after that he signed. Because that's when you get all the mania. That's when you get people saying like, "Oh, brilliant! Yeah, we're going to win it."
Can't wait to see him score the winner against Barcelona. Yeah. And when they put it out a few days before that, it's more or less, let's put it out before that because we want them to commit. Because once that transfer window shuts and there's no one coming the door, there's going to be people saying, "I'm not going to go and do it." Sign no one. You go to
talking of the transfers though, like. Taking our West Ham hat on, do you think we're an attractive club and players want to come on and play under us under Moyes?
I think we're a more attractive club than we have been the last 2-3 years. I'll definitely say that.
They would have found it easier to attract players now than they will any other transfer window that they've ever been in, because we're in the knockouts of the Europa, the last 16 Europa. We're looking good. We're sitting high in the league. We're just out of fourth, although I know other teams have got games in hand, but at the end of the day, they're not points on the ball. I keep on saying that. But we're a more attractive club now. They'd have found it easier if they wanted to bring players in today than they would have, say, all the previous transfer windows before. Earlier on today, I spoke to Abdul. This is going to be a feature on the podcast if we can get people on week in, week out. We're looking at international hammers, and I started today with the Ghanaian hammers, and I had a little chat with Abdul from the Ghanaian hammers, who is doing fantastic work over there. So listen to that. With me now, I've got Abdul, president of the Ghanaian Hammers. Now, welcome to episode 1 of the podcast, by the way. Abdul, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, mate. And how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you very much for asking. Now, listen, when we started the podcast, I thought to myself, what great idea to sort of highlight some of the international fans. We spend all of our time in England looking at what's going on over here, but there are fans all around the world. And listen, it doesn't come more exotic than Ghana, does it? How did you become a West Ham fan? It's very easy to slip into like one of the big four, and you've chosen West Ham.
Yeah, you are very right, mate. Actually, West Ham has been something that I've been preaching for the past 12 years, and then it's getting a lot of, encouragement from the public. I myself, becoming a West Ham fan wasn't by choice. It was like a family thing. Because what will I say? My interest wasn't much into foreign football. I was
Mhm.
much into our local scene football. But there was a time, and I said, let me try and see how the foreign football works. And then my system was to just look at how the team that is having much impact on the academic system.
Mhm.
So when I was looking through, I see that West Ham is producing some of these best academic players that are in the league and then are doing well. So I say, okay, let me join West Ham and see if the fans will accept me. So when I joined West Ham, I become like I found a family. When I say a family, on social media, the kind of love that getting from the West Ham fans across the world, I was saying, "No, okay, why don't I just put this agenda forward?" So by pushing it, I have few friends that were also looking up to me. So they joined the train. Then we become like 5 fans here, but our voice was very high. So in it, it became like something that people were joining. So from 5, it went to 17. But from 5 to 17, it took close to 5 years for us to get these 17 dedicated members. So
Mm.
from there, you see that people were also saying, okay, let's join, let's join. So I was having them in positioning. We have more than 10 cities in Ghana. So we're basically on 2 cities, the capital city, that is Accra, and then my hometown, that is Upper West, that is Wa. So there, that people were having that kind of interest. But now we are not covering more than 3 cities. So namely, Tamale is added to the list, and then Kumasi is also added to the list. And now, mate, I can tell you that confidently, we are having more than 364 members actively involved.
364 members.
Yeah, actively
Wow.
involved. Yeah. So with this one, we are all over. I think you are a testimony to our account. We see that we are much, our voice are much, let me say, heard on Twitter and then on Instagram. So people are joining based on maybe some of them were disappointed in their so-called big clubs. Some we had Manchester United fans joining, we had the Chelsea fans also joining. So this kind of movement were like when we brought it, people are buying into the idea, and then when you come and you join West Ham, the family that you are in is like something that you have never experienced in life before.
I tell you what, Abdul, you must be one of the best salesmen in the world, because when you've got a wealth of talent in like Liverpool and Manchester United, which would be, the main teams that people from abroad would look at. For you to sell them West Ham to 364 members in your country, I think is wonderful. Was you influenced to start supporting West Ham by any of the Ghanaian players? I remember John Pancill back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the John Pestell, Andre Remy, Morgan, did you too.
Yeah.
But I was a West Ham fan then. And John Pestell was one of our national heroes. He became the captain when he became the assistant captain of the Ghana Black Stars, followed by
Mm.
Asamoah. But Asamoah was the substantive captain. He was the assistant captain. And then when he was at Fulham, I was following, the London rivals between Fulham and West Ham. But when he was in West Ham too, I was following his exploit. And I still even have one of his picture with the number 4 jersey on it. And then I have somebody that has been sending me the pictures of what's the name, John Prince at the Bolivian ground. I say, okay,
Yeah.
John was a good player. And then Dede came. Unfortunately, he has a little bit of issues because injuries here and there. And then playing time became an issue. And then Moise, he left. But these were a few Ghanaians that came through the line. And then we are hoping so. Well, we are having a lot of talent in Ghana here. And then maybe we
We've
never
got
know where.
I
Yeah,
know we've got quite a few Ghanaians in our youth academy now. One of them made
yeah,
their debut. Yeah. So you keep a keen eye on them as well, yeah?
yeah. We are keeping an eye on them, and basically we know one of these days. Because
Mm.
just that the transfer window last night was a little bit headache. I couldn't sleep. You could see my eyes. I was just there picking to see maybe we're gonna have some. I mean, signings today, but
Oh God, we'll talk about that a bit later on. But yeah, I think that's very interesting. Now I know that Ghana's on sort of the same time wave as us, so you're not getting up at silly o'clock in the morning to watch the games like some fans across the world. Does it get a bit feisty in the bars? I mean, where do you watch the games?
okay, here is a little bit dicey because we have a channel and then we call DSTV. It is the one that is, I mean, showing the football issues, and then I've been much privileged to have one of the decoder, so I watch it home. But sometimes when we are multiple, like four, five, six, we have a pop bus, we have a DSTV center that you can just go and then maybe with the, I mean, fans and then the other opponent fans, you can watch the match together. But
Mm,
watching the match, as you said, it's a little bit easy here, not like the Australian, the Bangkok, Thailand, and then the Chinese. They will have to wake up maybe late in the night, and then so have to wake up. Our brothers from the USA will have to wake up early in the morning, like
yeah.
an early morning kickoff 11 here or UK. You see that they have to wake up early as maybe late or dawn to just watch. But we are really privileged to have the same time with UK, and then things are very easy here. We just have an easier and convenient way of watching our matches here in Ghana.
And I see you. I mean, I was looking at your Twitter earlier on, and you've got a centre, which is like a West Ham centre. You've got a big Mark Noble portrait painted in there. I mean, that is wonderful. Where is that, and what does that house?
Okay, let me take you through about the McNoble Center. The idea was conceived by me and then some of our, I mean, few hammers. We said, okay, Mark has done a lot of, I mean, stuff for West Ham, 18 years now, and then he's retiring. We know that the club is giving him a role when he retires, but we are saying that why don't we just give him an honor first, not in the UK but in Africa,
Mm,
because Mark, as we know, is a symbol that for the upcoming to watch out because he has been in the club. Though the club went to relegation up and down, but he's been dedicated for the past 18 years. And then these children, when they read much about him, they will know that maybe if you're holding on to something, maybe if there's up and down in life, you can still hold on. So we're using Mark to transform this kind of age between 6, 14, 12, to let them know that there's no end of life when things are going bad. Just stick to what you are doing in focus, and then life is gonna be better for you. So Mark as a symbol in Ghana here will reunite. I mean, some of these youth that are, I mean, going wayward, and then this kind of kids that don't know the direction. But the center is operating by what we are now currently lacking is just some kind of stocking and other things. But we are still trying to see a way out to, I mean, to bring it to full operational. It has been commissioned November last year, but at least the center itself, walking past and seeing the mural painting of it, will just give you the signal that West Ham is working in Africa again. But it is in the other part of Ghana, that is Upper West Region, Ward. But I'm basically in the capital city in Accra. But
mm.
as you said, I've tried as much as possible to position our fans. So I've been traveling sometimes. I'll go to this place. If I see at least one or two dedicated West Ham fans, I form a unity with them and then try to give them the messages so that when I receive stuff from, I mean, donors like you people, maybe sometimes some people try to donate shirt and stuff, then I'll go and give it to them. Then when they wear it, then they're also preaching the West Ham way. People just see the kind of, I mean, love that we are, I mean, together, and they join the West Ham train. The train it has not been full yet because we know very well that there's a capacity of more than 20,000 for you to join. So having the 364, we know for the past 12 years we have not yet done enough, and then we're still trying to conquer, I mean, Ghana and Africa as a whole.
Oh, that's excellent. I know we've got a bunch of kits. We checked your Twitter a little while ago, and we see one of your guys wearing the Thames Ironworks kit. That's our club.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think I messaged you a little while ago saying we've got a bag of them somewhere that we're going to send
Yeah,
over. So we are still getting in that. We just got to locate them. We've got quite a few. We've got a blue kit and a claret and blue kit. And once we gather them all together, we're going to send them over to you. But I mean, how difficult is it to get hold of shirts? I see a few shirts up there. You've got a beautiful shirt on now. But how difficult
yeah.
is it to get hold of them shirts here? Because I can't imagine that's easy.
Okay, here, as you said, the so-called big clubs, the Manchester United, the Arsenal, the Liverpool, and then
Mm.
the upcoming Tottenham, you see, they sells most of their shirts here on the local shops. But you see, West Ham, I mean, we are not having the shirts here. So, but I just rely on donor, like as you just mentioned earlier on. People, when they see our exploit on Twitter, they will just say, okay, we have this kind of bit, and then we want to just send you. So I just send them my address, and then maybe in a few weeks they are here. Then when they are here, we also share to our members, and then we wear then with joy and passion. Everybody is here. I mean, very happy when people send stuff for us to spread the Western way. So we
Oh,
have been, I mean, over the years, people are, let me just say, trying their best to reach us. And then we've, also received a lot of stuff from people. And then now we are, let me just say, having a lot of staffs that are here and then they are wearing it all over Ghana here. We just know that later to
so,
come,
so
more.
you're painting Ghana claret and blue. I love it, absolutely love it. Look, let's get something going here, mate, because I'm sure that we can get the address off of you, and we can get some stuff sent over to you. We'll make a little collection and get people sending stuff to you, because we love seeing people from other cultures, other nations, painting, because we're a small club in East London, and when we see it going as far as Ghana, America, even as far as Australia, and I think we had a lot of fans in Reunion at one time, and places like that. We love to see that. So we'll set up a little community. We've got a lovely little community here, and I'm sure some people will send you some stuff over.
Yeah, let me just chip in
Yeah,
here. We just started, but I think we have to just also take this opportunity to, just send our, saddest regards. As you know, last week everybody as a Western fan was grieved. The little Isla,
mm.
we have to just start this show. We just need to, also give our warm and then heart sadness to the Carlton family. They've been, battling cancer with this little 8-year-old, but
Mm.
God has called her, and then we know that she's resting in the best of what peace. God will receive her in her right hand, and then we believe that we're gonna meet one day. But Isla has reunited everybody because we are in Africa here, but we are following the Isla cancer fight, and then it's something that has reunited a lot of Western fans together.
Mm.
And we just want to use this opportunity to say, Isla, we love you, but God loves you more. And until we meet again, thanks for the memory shared at London Stadium, and then we are very
Oh,
grateful. And to
Abdul.
all those organizations that are, helping this little girl, we say we want to use this opportunity as Ghanaians, and then say thank you for all your donation. And then the girl has suffered a lot, but we know she's resting in the best side of what God.
Oh, they're wonderful words. I mean, I went to Isla's funeral on Friday, and it was a huge funeral, and there was lots of love, and I'm sure that the family are so happy and thankful to receive these messages. So I'm sure they'll receive that thankfully, mate. Just quickly, have you ever been over to London?
Now, okay, London none, but let's go back to the Bolivian ground. Um, as a fan and as a dedicated fan, as somebody who started this movement, my very biggest, what will I say, happiness would have been to just visit the Bolivian ground because it was one of the most memorable grounds that we just left to the London Stadium. So it was something that I said one day I'll visit it and watch match and see how the system operates here. But I never got the chance. Now we are in the London Stadium, and then as I'm saying, fingers still crossed. We never know. Once I'm not yet dead, I know one of these days, by His grace, things gonna move well, and then maybe I will just see myself at the London Stadium and then watch a match with some of you guys, and then we have a little bit of a party together, and then
Oh,
share
absolutely.
our operation, how we operate here, and then how we also operate there, and then things gonna
Mm.
move through.
Listen, we would love to see you at the London Stadium. Please make it so. Bring a few of your members over. We'll get you some tickets, and we'll see you there. Listen, mate, it's been wonderful talking to you, but I can't go without asking you about last night. It was a transfer window shut last night. No faces in. How are you guys feeling over there about the transfers? Because
I
we're not
think
very happy here.
it can show from my eyes. If you see the whole of last night, I refreshed my timeline seconds by seconds.
Mm.
But it's like we become like a joking club. I don't know whether there's not that cordial relationship between our sporting director, our head of recruitment, the board of directors, and then the coach as well. Because this is a team that is not a common team now. We are in the fourth round of the FA Cup. We are in the Europa League, the knockout stage. We are competing for what? The fourth and then the fifth, probably the sixth position in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And we are just trying literally like we're joking. Because if you are a team, as we all love West Ham, this is a window that you know that we need to come together and then bring some of these best players. At least loan. Bournemouth could get Todd Cantwell, and we cannot get player like Todd Cantwell to come and play. So when I see some of the transfer, I was thinking that the board of directors were rather playing with our mind because we were very, very, very. See, today West Ham won this person. Today, tomorrow West Ham won. When I saw the Rafinha and then Kevin Phillips, I know this kind of things were just to publish to the media and then let us believe that something is happening. These were not players that we know we could get because Phillips' boyhood club is Leeds United, and it is hard for. It's just like saying, what will I say? A team gets bidding for a Declan Rice at the moment. It's
Yeah.
not possible. But there were some players that we could just get. Today you hear is Broja, tomorrow is Phillips. You see, it was like we are trying to just, tell a signal that the club is doing something. Meanwhile, the fans know very well that the board is just lazy in this. So, but I'm very disappointed with Daniel Kerensky because we know very well that the David Gold and the Sullivan and then the Bradley system has been one of the worst. And then we are criticizing them. Today you've come and you've taken about 27% shares, and we believe that maybe you pump in some money, and this general transfer would have even proven that you are one of the best persons that have come to co-own the club. It is like just what is happening the last time that West Ham was in the transfer market. We can't keep on to be what waiting for the late 31st night. It's headache for us as fans. At least the January is from what first to 31st. Sometimes try to what will I say, make our minds very well that West Ham we are trying to sign a player, and that is always 31st eve of the night. I couldn't sleep the whole of last night. Just wake up today and it's Dale. The kind of English that we have to give us a signal that we should sign players. Central back now, Ogbonna has been ruled out for the whole of season, for this season. You know we can't rely on what will I say, Diop and then Diop and the Little Johnson, then Masuaku, and then you see the kind of Fredericks. Midfield we still have to get some players. Well, we need to share the teams into what some divisions so that some of them will play in the Premier League, and then others will have the chance to play. Well, the Europe we don't want to just go out from the knockout stage. At least the final will be a. Well, we want Mark Noble to retire very well. But Antonio, as we all know, we can't just rely on only one striker. The goals are no more coming. But if there was competition, Antonio would have been on his feet. So the transfer window has been something that I'm saying that the club, owe us an apology. They've made us to. They just gave us sleepless night the whole of yesterday, and then this is something that we don't want to be happening in the future. But this is a club that when you love West Ham, you yourself know it. It's like something that is in the DNA.
Yeah.
Something where you can. The claret runs through all of us. So it's something that when things are not going well, we tend to have this kind of headache. Yesterday was one of the bad days that I have in my life.
I think maybe the worst because as I said before, when we moved to the London Stadium, I was here and I see a lot of it going on, and there was a lot of people that didn't want to move and a lot of people that were skeptical, and they sort of tried to bedazzle us with promises of success and big signings and things like that, and a couple of people bought that. And look, you can understand if you're in relegation trouble and you don't want to buy players because in case you go down and you're going to be stuck with huge wage bill. But we've been there and we didn't do anything. Now we've been up the top and we still didn't do anything. And I think that just shows you what sort of ambition these owners have got. And I think they've got to go now. I think, I know that they're thinking about leaving in the next year, and they've agreed a sale price to Kretinsky, but I think they've just overstepped their mark now. There was a couple of people that was willing to give them a bit of a pass, but I think they've just reignited the flames again, and I think their time at the club is going to be very short from now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see, Rice situation now. To hold on to Rice, you need to let him play with the best players. Rice if we are doing well, Rice may not see the need to go. But Rice is very confident that he can have something with West Ham. But if you look at the kind of gymnastics that the board is doing with us, it's not the best.
Mm.
Why will you just be mentioning names? Tomorrow, you will even hear some kind of, let's say, West Ham is interested in this person. Sometimes when you even look at the whole picture, you know that it's not true. When I saw the Phillips and then Rafinha issue, I say we are finished. Because I know, brother, if this issue is coming
Mm.
at this moment, you know that the board is not serious. This
Listen,
is,
you
but
told him about the right amount of time. You've seen it many times now. Do you know with
yeah,
these?
but why is it that Moise? I don't know. Is Moise in bed with them? Remember that, like, if my things go bad, you are the coach. You will be the one they'll blame. Why won't you just sit with the board? At least if it was like 70 million pounds for this transfer window, we can do it. There are some players that we can just get, some on loan, and then others we just buy outright.
Mm.
But once you know, brother, that if things are not coming, you'll be the person they'll blame. We can't get this squad to be playing in the Europa League, the Premier League, and then the FA Cup. We can't. Because things gonna go west. And then this is the time that we just want to, retire McNoble with one of the best moments in his life. I know yesterday I was just reading that he and the Rice was, not, but I know maybe it's something that people are trying to cook. But even in their heart, everybody will know that they will not be happy.
Of
Because
course.
as a captain, you need your board to be up and doing. When I saw Bonamouth, there were some clubs that were just signing players, and I said, come on. Then West Ham, why would they be rating us sometimes? You see, if we check the Premier League, the list continue. West Ham is one of the best clubs that is having money in. We have money more than Leicester City. We have money more than this. And these people are signing players, and we can even sign players. Some players
Yeah.
are even willing to come and play West Ham. And yet the board is not up and doing. That's our problem. And this, as we said, has been one of the worst transfer window we have ever had in our life as a West Ham fan.
I agree, mate. I agree. Listen, I hope for your sake that you get over here and you know we see some happy days. I mean, these are happy in relative terms. These are happy days, but they could have been a lot better. But let's hope we don't slip down the table. Abdul, I hope to God to see that I see you at the London Stadium one day, and I will buy you a drink, and we'll have a dance, and we'll have a chat, and everything else that goes with it. Thank you so much for spreading the word over in Ghana. I know it must be a difficult job when everyone's getting seduced by Man Cities and the Liverpools and the Manchester Uniteds, and you're doing great work out there. And we are very, very honoured to speak to you today, and we thank you.
Thank you, mate. As usual, it has been an honor when you call upon. I've been in the room waiting to speak to a fellow hammer. This is something that I do for life. This is something that I cherish. And then, as I said, as we finish this, and words and prayers goes to Allah, who is just we miss her. And then we will still forever, ever remember about her. She has really united us very well. Thank you, mate. As usual, thank you, mate. Thank you, mate.
Let's give you one of these. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
There you go. So that's Abdul from the Ghanaian.
He used to work for the BBC.
Yeah, he used to work for the BBC, right? A friend of mine, he still goes West Ham now. He comes and sees me every now and then. Known each other for years now. I remember when I first met him, we was in our teens. You know what I mean? And I'm 40 this year, and I think he's a little bit older than me. So he's got like grown up kids and all that now. You know what I mean? It's mental when you think to see yourself how much you know. But me and him used to, two West Ham fans, we look alike. People used to think we was brothers. Like I had a little bit more hair then, but he's always been alike, sort of bald and all that sort of thing. And we used to put on this, you know, I used to give him a quid, and he used to put on this like, you know, like an accumulator. And he just used to go through, and he used to do about 20 teams, and every time it was something like 795 grand if you get them all right and all that sort of thing, right? And we done this one, and it had about, no joke, about 19 teams on it, right? And we sat down, and we used to put it in the locker because we was like fire marshals or whatever. Let's put it in the locker, and then during our break at about 5, 6 o'clock, we used to sit down and see the results, right? So all of a sudden we're checking this one. It's like, one? Yeah, that one. Say Cardiff and Swansea. Yep, Cardiff, yep. Well, they won. We got to like 17. Won them all, right? The next game we had on the list was Southampton, who were terrible at the time.
What year was this?
Oh, 2001, 2000, something like that. Arsenal at home to Southampton. This is a year when Arsenal were like Invincibles years and all this sort of thing, and they lost at home to Southampton.
What? They wouldn't have lost if they were invincible.
No, the season before.
No, it was the season before the
Right.
Invincibles, but they had that sort of team.
Yeah,
they was
yeah.
building that team, and they'd lost at home to Southampton. And then we checked the next one, and that one as well. Yeah, it was something like 795,200 for.
What? 1,700? Oh my god!
Yeah, so it was before,
that's sickening.
because Sky Bet, I think they've changed their limit. The maximum you can win now on a bet is like 250 grand on accumulator. That's the maximum
Really?
you can do now. It's because I think so many people like the bets what you were doing.
Just every now and then they come in, yeah.
Again coming in, and they were like, we can't keep paying these out.
So we're going to leave it there for this week. I hope you enjoyed this, and we're going to add more features as we go as well. I'm going to start when we put it out on YouTube next week. I want to start like reading like mean comments.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're proper feeding me to the wolves here, ain't you?
No, not just about you, but about me and
It's usually me
whatever.
who gets the mean
I'm
ones.
going to start reading mean comments, so I want people to sort of roast us a little
Just
bit.
don't take any. Just if
No,
you
don't get
say
too
anything about my head-
serious.
say anything. Just don't mention my hairline. I do intend to
What
shave
airline? Your airline's gone, mate. There ain't no airline left.
You can talk.
Yours is worse than mine. And you know the worst thing is, right? I was watching a video the other day, and you had a full mop of hair.
How long ago?
About 4 years?
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe 3 years.
Is that West Ham though? Gone, what's done it to you?
That has gone rapid,
Yeah,
mate.
I know, mate. I know.
What happened?
Well, it just got it started thinning because I remember my sister. She was the first to notice it. She just walked past me at the house. She was like, "Balding Dominic, balding Dominic." I'm like, "What are you on about? I've got this thick," but there was like a little bald patch in the middle, and gradually
don't grow
over
that again,
the
bro.
years,
It was like a puff of smoke over your head.
what?
Don't grow it back. It was like a puff of smoke hovering over your head when you grew it.
It's like a bird's nest.
Yeah.
But no, like it should have seen it during lockdown, man. It was a bird's nest, mate. Like the bald bit was the eggs, and everything else was the twigs and the leaves. But like, it just got. I don't know what happened, man. Like it's just. I think the last couple of years, it just got worse, and like I can't even put gel in it no more. I went.
Gel in it. You need to put polish on it now.
I went fully bald in December, and then it grew back. So
Tell that video.
I'll tell you something, yeah. I'll tell you something. When I done it about a month ago, I got my sister to do it, yeah, and she done it perfectly. When as soon as it was done, you could have eaten your dinner off of it, mate. It was perfect. And then like gradually, like the tips start growing in the middle, and then it just puffs out.
The thing is,
I hate this.
The
look.
thing is, when
I
you're
hate
bald,
it.
I've been bald for a long time now, and obviously I've shaved down my hair. When it's a close shave, it looks all right. It's when it starts to puff out a little bit, and you look old. You look old, and you look like fucking Willy Wonka, and you got this little island bit just like fucking.
See, I've not lost my bit, but it's when you go to the bar. I went to the barber's on Saturday, and then you look down at the thing, and it's grey. I don't obviously you don't look at the back, and when you see all
Do
the
you know
grey,
what? I'd like to be grey. I'd rather be grey than be balding.
like the Silver Fox, Philip Schofield. Grey.
Yes. Tired?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I am. What's the time?
I don't know.
Got your
9:45.
phone, Fucking hell.
But thank you very much for joining us on episode 1 of the West Ham Fan TV podcast. We'll be doing this again. We'll have to get you back in, Andy.
Thanks,
You
mate.
enjoyed this one, yeah?
Yeah, I really did, mate. Yeah, really did.
I thought it was good.
I'll be the substitute again. So when anyone's down, I'll step in.
Yeah, but thank you very
Just
much for
don't be
stepping
like
in.
a Yarmolenko type sub.
I'll try not to.
No, you've been like a Chicharito sub today. It's been good, man.
Yeah, thank you very much for stepping in today, mate. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. As I said before, if you're watching on YouTube, you've seen a reduced version of this podcast. The full version and the audio download is available on Patreon if you want to do that. Go and do that. It supports the channel, and we are growing, and we spent a lot of fucking money on this.
I'm a patron.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. I appreciate it, mate.
I'm not.
You know, we're starting to create a lot. We've got a lot in the pipeline. Like I'm having a lot of conversations about Patreon only content, and I'll tell you what, mate,
Fire.
it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. So yeah, if you want to support the Patreon, go support the Patreon.
If you become a patron, you also get a discount in
You
the
do,
merch store
you
as
do,
well.
yeah, you do indeed. So thank you very much for that. We'll be back again next week. It won't be Tuesday. This is recorded on Tuesday, but it won't be Tuesday because we'll all be at the game.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be on a Wednesday. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it'll probably be on a Wednesday next week, and hopefully, if he's all recovered, Ryan will be back. Oh, hopefully, mate. If he's not, you'll be back.
I'll be going to my producer role again.
Yeah, yeah. So,
sub.
but thank you very much for joining us. Let me press one of these, but I'm tempted. Hold on, wait. Let me press.
That's what
another
happens when people hear my voice. That's the sound you
one.
hear.
Oh, wait. Oh, scary music. What's this one?
David Sullivan's outside trying to steal your vending machine there.
Oh shit! I pressed two of them at the same time. Do that joke again.
David Sullivan's coming up. He's trying to steal the change out of Andy's gambling machine there. Fuck off.
Oh, brilliant.
That one sums up our transfer window, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back again next week. Yeah, so join in. I'm not going to say come on you ones. I say that on every show. So I want to go on, Dom. You sing us out.
I'll be your wish, I'll be your hope, I'll be your fantasy.
I'll be your love, I'll be your...
Be everything that you need.
Thank you very much. Join us next week. Peace out.